Council, I want to remind you and anyone on the public telephone line to please mute your line so we don't have any feedback. We've had some tech issues here today as we get started. So I'm going to call the meeting to order with roll call. Councilmember Navarrete.
Present.
Councilmember Armitage.
Here.
Councilmember Estatico.
Present.
Councilmember Lopez.
Present.
Councilmember Aguilar.
Present.
And Vice Mayor Alonso is absent, I believe. So we do have a quorum. We'll move forward with the pledge. If everyone would please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we invite you as the unseen guest to preside over our meeting tonight. We ask, Lord, that you would give us wisdom and discernment and understanding. We ask, Lord, that your blessing would fall upon our little town, and then, Lord, that those that are sick with coronavirus would recover quickly. Strengthen us, give us wisdom. We thank you for this time together. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start off our agenda tonight with a special presentation, and that's the National Service Recognition Day 2021 is an opportunity to recognize the dedication and commitment of more than 1 million Americans who have chosen to serve their country through AmeriCorps and to encourage more Americans to follow in their footsteps. Ray Rokes is a Vista volunteer for the Chamber of Commerce at this time, and he's living in our community. He's from Virginia. So Ray, I'll have you come up to the podium if you want to introduce yourself, and then I will read the proclamation and we'll have a quick photo op.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ray Rhodes, as she said. It's an honor and a pleasure to be serving in your community, and very excited to meet all of you and really work with the people here in the community. So thank you so much for recognizing me this evening.
Thank you so much, Ray, and we really appreciate that the Chamber's working with you. The proclamation reads, whereas service to others is a hallmark of the American character, and throughout our history, citizens have stepped up to meet challenges by volunteering in their communities. And whereas AmeriCorps provides opportunities for approximately 270,000 Americans to serve their communities through an intensive commitment to service at nonprofits, schools, public agencies, and community and faith-based groups across the country. And whereas AmeriCorps enriches the lives of its members and volunteers, building habits that create engaged citizens who are active participants in civic matters affecting their communities long after their service terms are completed. And whereas AmeriCorps members and volunteers encourage collaboration and partnerships, leveraging additional volunteers in service and acquiring the support of businesses, foundations, and public and community agencies to increase the effectiveness of their initiatives. And whereas in Arizona, more than 2,400 AmeriCorps members and volunteers of various ages and backgrounds help meet local needs at more than 550 locations by tutoring or mentoring children and youth, supporting veterans and military families, combating the opioid epidemic, restoring the environment, and responding to disasters. And whereas in exchange for their service, AmeriCorps members and volunteers develop valuable work skills, earn money for continuing education, and strengthen the lives of their families, communities in the state of Arizona. And whereas since AmeriCorps was founded in 1994, more than 24,000 AmeriCorps members in Arizona served more than 26 million hours and qualified for Siegel AmeriCorps Education Awards totaling more than $65.5 million. And whereas National Service Recognition Day is an opportunity to recognize the dedication and commitment of more than 1 million Americans who have chosen to serve their country through AmeriCorps, and to encourage more Americans to follow in their footsteps in service. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mila Besich, Mayor of Superior, Arizona, do hereby designate Tuesday, April 6, 2021 as National Service Recognition Day in Arizona, and urge citizens to recognize AmeriCorps members volunteers, and alumni for their service and to find their own ways to give back to their community. So Ray, again, on behalf of the entire council, we want to thank you for your services and all that the chamber does. We appreciate that partnership. And we can take a quick picture, and then we'll continue with the meeting.
Tom, why don't you get in this too, please? I think that would be nice. We rarely get to see your smiling face. Smile. Okay, on three. 1, 2, 3. Let me take another one, please, a little bit different angle. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, and congratulations, Ray.
Congratulations.
Fantastic. Beautiful.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for serving.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on with staff reports. And we'd just like to recognize tonight that it is approximately 1 year later after the pandemic was announced. Just a quick moment of remembrance to everyone in our community who has suffered through coronavirus and lost friends and family. This has been a trying year for everyone, for our business community, and there hasn't been anyone in our community who hasn't been affected. However, I do have some positive news to share, and that is for residents of Superior. We do have access to vaccines through the Cobra Valley Regional Medical Center. And if you're interested, this just broke a few minutes ago, but if you're interested in the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, 200 vaccines are available at the Kearney Clinic. You do have to call the Cobra Valley Regional Medical Center, but there's only 200 of the Johnson & Johnson vaccines available at this time, only at the Kearney Clinic. But anyone over the age of 18 who lives in Superior, Queen Valley, top of the world, Kearney and Dudleyville may receive a vaccine in Globe. So that is really good news. We really appreciate the work of Cobra Valley Regional Medical Center, Pinal County Public Health for working with the Gila County Public Health. This is, feels a little brighter today than what life felt like a year ago. This weekend, Superior will be featured on the Arizona Highways television show. It will appear, I believe, in the Channel 3 network, so we'll be posting that on social media, the exact times it will be coming out in Tucson, Phoenix, Flagstaff metro areas. And we want to thank Resolution Copper for that sponsorship. We've been very busy, of course, monitoring the Resolution Copper FEIS situation, and pleased to report that we are hearing from the USDA that hopefully this is just a very temporary hold-up to make sure that they have final and full tribal consultation. So hopefully that will get back on track. But other than that, Mr. Manager, do you have any additional reports?
We've been working with, I've been working with Lana and with the attorney to draft a revised town code section that extends the exemptions for building permits up to 1,500. Anything under 1,500 you wouldn't need a permit. It also exempts most in-kind repairs and minor repairs. So we're working on that. That'll be to P&Z on the first Thursday next month, and then to council hopefully directly thereafter. We're going to continue to work with Pinal County to try to get them to take over the building permits. As of yet, they haven't given us a proposal, but we had a meeting earlier this week, and they have promised to give us a proposal to set up a regional office in Superior and take over the building permits again. We don't know how much that's going to cost or anything else, so when we get more details, we'll pass it on to the council.
Thank you, Mr. Pryor. We'll move on to the consent agenda at this time, council. We're going to approve the minutes of regular council meeting on February 11th, 2021. Approval of minutes of special council meeting on February 23rd, 2021. Approval of iHeartMedia credit acceptance with a credit line of $2,000. Approval of contract for professional services between Town of Superior and Kimley Horn and Associates to perform professional planning services for the general plan and our department reports: fire, police, public works, library, senior center, sanitation, and town engineer. Council, unless there's anyone who wants to take a particular agenda item out of this. There's a motion by Council Member Estatico. Is there a second?
I'll second that. It's Councilmember Navarrete.
Second by Councilmember Navarrete. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Was that an opposed, Councilmember Lopez, or were you an aye?
I was an aye.
Okay, sorry, it came in after I asked for any opposition. Okay,
Yeah, I forgot it was you.
no worries, it's still very tough on all of us. Okay, so there's a motion and a second, all in favor, aye, the motion carries unanimously. Thank you, council, we'll move on to new business. Okay, discussion possible approval of the extension of emergency declaration 2020-03 pertaining to the mask mandate. This is a council decision. Our discussion, we can leave the declaration in place for review by the council for extension, leave the declaration in place and allow the mayor and staff to determine an end date, and the declaration extension and allow the business community and individuals to decide for themselves if they choose to wear a mask. At the September 10th, 2020 meeting, there was a motion to review the extension at every town council meeting. On October 8th, 2020, new business item F, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until November 12th, 2020. Town council meeting. At the November 12th, 2020 meeting, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until January 14th, 2021 meeting due to no meeting in December 2020. At the January 14th, 2021 meeting, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until February 11th, 2021 meeting. At the meeting of February 11th, 2021 meeting, there was a motion to extend the mask mandate until March 11th, 2021. Council, it's once again time for us to review this mask mandate. At this time, it appears that our case counts are leveling off. We are not seeing rapid increases, and we are seeing forward progress on vaccines. This is a council decision.
Madam Mayor, I respect any council member that doesn't vote for the mask mandate, but at this, I make a motion to approve the extension of the mask mandate for another month until our April town council meeting.
Okay, for the council, there's a motion. Okay, second. That's Councilmember Aguilar for the second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, I'll need to do a roll call vote. Councilmember Navarrete?
Aye.
Councilmember Armitage?
No.
Councilmember Estatico?
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez?
Yes.
Councilmember Aguilar?
Yes.
And I am a yes. The motion carries with a 5-1 vote. Thank you, council. We're going to move on to the next agenda item. Discussion, possible approval, ordinance 2021-170, an ordinance of the town council of the town of Superior amending the town zoning code article 11, manufactured housing overlay districts, paragraph 11.2, permitted uses, paragraph 11.3, planning review process, paragraph 11.4, review criteria, paragraph 11.5, design and construction standards, paragraph 11.7, density area, building and yard regulations as it relates to manufactured housing, and declaring an effective date. Recommendation, staff recommends approving this ordinance. Discussion. Town Planning and Zoning Commission has, at its regular meeting held on March 4th, 2021, studied and considered resolution number 2021-02, a resolution of the Town of Superior Planning and Zoning Commission that the Town Council approve an ordinance to amend zoning requirements for manufactured housing overlay districts to be applied within the Town of Superior, Arizona. And we don't need a public hearing on this, correct?
Just council discussion.
Okay, so council discussion.
This is Councilmember Navarrete. Mr. Pryor, earlier today I had some questions and there was some back and forth. So there's no changes that need to be made based on those discussions?
The suggestion would be, a lot of the question as to whether a minor repair would require a permit would be answered by the amended section we're doing next week, or next month. So, so minor repairs would not be, if the council approves that, then you wouldn't need to get a permit for any minor repairs. But part of this is based on requirements of the state. The state says we have to sign, if we're going to do our own building inspections, we have to sign the IGA, which we already did, and we have to give them jurisdiction over manufactured homes and follow their rules. So a part of this is changes for that. A part of it is there are some changes that came out of, we had 2 public hearings and a work session on this issue.
Okay.
Okay, is there any further questions or comments from council?
I have a question.
Okay.
What happens to the grandfather performance place in this?
Existing non-conforming is a separate section of the code, and yes, it does apply. You still can use any existing non-conforming structure for whatever it's being used for now. If it's destroyed by fire, you can rebuild it in the same footprint. So yes, existing non-conforming is chapter 18 or something like that.
Thank you.
Council, any further questions or comments for staff? I do know there might be a question or comment here, so I'll open the floor. Ms. Rabago, I see you sit already at the podium. You have 3 minutes.
Okay, I do have a question. You say minor repairs, is there a value put on that? That they're allowed to do without having to go through this certification?
Right now there's no exemption for a dollar value, and that's something we're writing a new code section to cover that. Anything under 1,500, we're not going to require a permit unless somebody else requires an inspection. If it's like, for instance, a electrical panel, and it has to be inspected in order for it to be turned on, we will only charge for whatever the inspection costs. But as right now, there is none. Though there is, you can replace things like fixtures, you can replace things like cabinets, all the basic repairs can be done. That's under existing code. You can paint, you can do facelifts, you can do new flooring. That's all allowed. So the items we're talking about are the more direct repairs for things like, you break a plumbing line. You can repair that without having to get a permit.
Can we get any more clear language in this?
And this one is kind of set by state rules. That's why we're working on another code section to clarify the language and for the entire process. It lays out about 20, I think, exemptions in code for things that you don't have to get a permit for, and we're trying to clarify that, bring it together from all the different code sets so that we know what all the exemptions are and we can publish those.
Okay, I still have a problem because this is from the website of the Department of Housing Manufactured Homes. And it says, state law only requires the rehab when a home is being brought into the state from another state or being moved from one park to another park. The state does not require a rehab be done when you are moving from a park to private property. However, many local jurisdictions do. So aren't you doing something in addition to what the state requires?
All we're saying, I don't memorize the code particularly. What I remember it says is that if you are doing these changes, you have to get the required permit from the state. If the state doesn't require a permit, then you don't have to get that. That's what the repair section says. It says if you're doing a repair to it, you have to get the rehab permit. If the rehab permit isn't required by the state, then you don't have to get a permit.
Then why are we putting this language in here?
Because if you are doing something that requires you to get a rehab permit, then, for instance, if you're doing major repairs to a 376 unit, you may have to get a permit from the state. They'll determine that. And we're required to allow the state to have jurisdiction over it.
Okay, but this language says that if it is a mobile, you have to, and it's being reconstructed or repaired, that you have to get it certified through the state.
And if the state doesn't require that, then you don't need the certification, then you don't have to get that.
It seems like you're putting rules where we don't need rules.
Any other comments in regards to this particular ordinance?
This is Councilmember Navarrete again.
Yes.
Honestly, I was struggling today specifically with the section 11.5A. The wording is confusing to me because it reads to me that if I want to do a minor repair, it's illegal. And I don't believe that that's the intent of the section, but I don't feel that that section is clear enough. And if we're going to have to be rewriting, doing other subsections or modifying code and other sections to clarify this, I feel that maybe we should table this until we have it all sorted out.
Mr. Pryor, does tabling?
That would be perfectly acceptable to me. The drafter of this code isn't here tonight to answer the question, so I would prefer we put it off till next month anyway.
Madam Mayor, I'll make the motion to table.
So there's a motion on the
I'll
floor.
second that motion.
Motion on the floor by Councilmember Statico, second by Councilmember Navarrete to table this item so we can clarify it. All in favor? Aye.
You guys are breaking up.
All in favor?
It's a rush job now, because this stuff can be done while she's in here. I just want to.
Okay. We're in the middle of a vote, so all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
No.
Okay, so we've got to do another roll call vote.
I do have an online question. Somebody's asking about Windows. Somebody is in our live chat. I don't know if you want to answer that question. Basically, that's what we're working on the new code adoption to, is to exempt things like that. Somebody popped up in our live chat to ask a question.
Okay, in the live chat. Well, we've got a motion and a second, so and we have a contested vote, so I need to do a roll call, and then I'll have you answer that question. Okay, Councilmember Navarrete. And to remind everybody, the motion is to table this, and we'll bring it back next month when we have the other codes ready to go. Councilmember Navarrete.
Yes.
Councilmember Armitage.
No.
Councilmember Alonso. Oh, he's not here. Vice Mayor Alonso. Councilmember Estatico.
Yes.
Councilmember Lopez. Councilmember Lopez.
Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Councilmember Aguilar.
Yes.
Okay, the ayes have it. The agenda item has been tabled to the next meeting. We're going to move on to, we have a very short business agenda tonight. We're going to move on to call to the public. I do know we have several members of the public here tonight. I believe they have signed in. I'm going to read over the call to the public rules. And I just want to remind everyone publicly, the council is on the line. They're listening, they're participating, they're watching on YouTube. And I know Mr. Pryor did give everybody kind of a update as to, I think, what everyone wants to talk about tonight. Any citizen desiring to speak on a matter that is not scheduled on this agenda may do so at this time. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes per person and shall be addressed to the town council as a whole and not to any individual member. Issues raised shall be limited to those within the jurisdiction of the town council. Pursuant to the Arizona Open Meeting Law, the town council cannot discuss or act on items presented at this time. At the conclusion of the call to the public, individual town council members may 1. Respond to criticism made by those who have spoken, 2. Ask staff to review a matter, or 3. Ask that a matter be put on a future agenda. At this time, just a reminder that when you're called up, you get 3 minutes. Michelle Schaffner.
Oops, right, wrong. Okay, I had a lot to say, but a lot of it was addressed at the very beginning when we were able to ask questions, and a lot of stuff is now understood. What I really was going to do was, well, what happened was I was shocked, like floored almost to tears. I almost started crying when I found out how much I was going to have to pay to have an inspection. And so my intention was to come up here and read off these numbers, which are bizarre. And I was told that it was going to be probably 2 inspections for me at $300 each. However, my inspection fee is $795, which is well over that $600 that I was told that it was going to be. And that was the only number that I was really given. I had a zoning fee of $75, and I could not understand why I had a zoning fee because I didn't change the footprint of anything. And so there was no reason to do anything. So I don't understand why I had to pay $75 for that. There was a plan review fee for some pieces of paper that I submitted for $347, which just seems to me crazy because these people, they obviously get a salary to look at some papers. There's a permit fee, I assume this is for the town, of $535, which I would assume that the people who take care of the permits in town have a salary. So I don't understand. It's almost like, it's really what it is a tax, and it should be called a tax. A submittal fee for $55 just to turn in the paperwork, and a $9 printing and miscellaneous fee to scan some drawings into a computer. And my total was $1,875 permitting fee for a 740 square foot house that did not change the footprint. And when we got that house, we were told by the inspector that it had good bones, but we found out little by little that that house did not have good bones, and it was practically falling down, and we made it safe. And to make it safe and then have to pay this kind of money, I'm grateful that I didn't have to get fined, because we didn't really realize what we were doing. It was like, oh, the termites ate that board that was in the ground, we better fix it. Then the termites ate another board, and it was just like we just had to keep doing it. Oh, the siding is holding up the wall, you know? And so at some point, it was like, I think we probably needed a permit, but it was just, you know, so I'm really glad that we weren't fined, because it was really not intentional to like not get a permit. But then when I did it, I can see why people don't want to do it. And I can see why people don't want to fix up their houses. And it's really counterproductive for the town if you really want to make a difference in this town. People just aren't going to want to do it. Right now, people are flipping houses. Maybe they can afford to do this, but people that live here can't afford to do this.
Thank you, Ms. Schaffner, and you've had your 3 minutes. Thank you. Carla and Charlie Anderson.
Hello. First of all, my husband's hearing impaired and he reads lips, so he probably didn't hear all your rules there, but I'll help him.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is we built a new house in Highland Estates last year, and we got to put an overhang over the front door because the sun's hitting it. I didn't see that part. And what I've been looking for since I paid $400 for a variance permit January 23rd. And what I'm looking to do is I'm supposed to be going in front of the city council, from what I understand, to get this variance. Well, now it's pushed out till April 8th or whatever like that. Well, that's when I'm leaving. And I'm just wondering, why does it take so long?
Can I explain? So January 25th, we paid the $400. Lana said, okay, we can't get you in the February meeting because there's not 15 days. So we're going to get you in the March 4th meeting. Then she called me March 1st and said, it can't be the March 4th meeting because that's not the right group. It has to be the council. The council's on the 11th. Now we don't have 15 days again. So now you have to wait until April 8th. And I said, my husband's leaving. He's going back to Minnesota. We wanted to do this. January 25th is when we started this whole process. Actually, it was
Before that?
It was a week or two before that. She sent us to call someone in Phoenix first, Adam
and Sydney, who was doing the inspections or whatever.
So we called them.
And they said this is a zoning thing, because we're going 5 feet towards the property line. We still have 15 feet to the property line, but we're going 5 feet. So then they sent this back to Lana, and that's when we paid that money. And
yeah, and I'm not sure what the $400 why we even had to pay for it. You got to pay $400. We pay $400 if we want to get this done. So, anyways, we would like to get this porch on our house before he has to go back to Minnesota.
Thank you again for reaching out to us, and I'm going to direct staff to work with you to see if there's any reasonable solution that we can come up with. And my apologies, because it obviously sounds like somebody dropped the ball, unfortunately. So apologize for that, but staff will look into this with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Deborah Kay.
Thank you, Council. Todd addressed a lot of the concerns before we even started the meeting today, and I appreciate that. Some of my concerns are, from what I understand by reading this, that the town can set up their own things like fencing, what kind of fencing you can have. So there's certain things that the town can put in place as far as zoning. So I'm wondering if we're going to get something from the town saying, like, if I want to put up a fence, from what I heard, you can't use metal. So now you have to do a different kind of fencing. There's all kinds of stories out there from people who are trying to get permits, who are trying to build, who are trying to do things, and everybody is just really confused. The whole town that I know that's doing stuff is confused. Nobody knows what they can or can't do. And the other thing is, I know if we go back to Pinal County, if I'm understanding right, they're doing the 2006, no, 2018? I'm confused on that. So
they're 2012, but they're updating the same code we are.
Okay. That was a question, because I know when I did my commercial building, the permit for the whole thing, I had to submit plans, of course, because it's commercial. So I had to have someone draw the plans. But I only paid $1,400 for the permit for a commercial building. So I'm a little shocked at these fees. If I decide to buy something and fix it up, it's like, I don't know what's required and what's not. So that's my concern. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deb. Irene Morris.
Yes, thank you, Todd, for helping us understand all this garbage. But what I want to say is I want to address the town council. I want them to remember that we are senior citizens. I didn't get a discount. My husband is a veteran. He didn't get a discount, but we celebrate seniors and we celebrate Veterans Day. I don't get it. That doesn't go hand in hand. So I want the town council to remember that we are senior citizens. We're not rolling in dough. I don't have a money tree. I want them to remember that, my dear friends on the town council. I know where you live. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Morris. Debbie Olson.
Debbie Olson. I have a couple little issues. I started a project on Santa Rita in 2017, February actually, and I have metal fences. I took out full permits for all of my cabins, and I was told by the county in Florence that I wanted to have the rules of what you could do with fences. And they gave me a sheet, and metal roofs, we're going to talk about roofs too. Metal fences were fine. 6 feet, I could go 6 feet, sides and back, 4 feet front. Anything other than that, I had to get a variance. So I'm not quite through with my project. And I got more fencing to do, and I absolutely do not want to change my decor, what I'm doing. I mean, it doesn't make sense. And you know, I own almost that whole block there. I don't want to do something different because we've changed plans. So that, and the same thing about roofs. I had one of the cabins, I had to strip the whole roof, and I had to replace a couple boards, is all. Nothing structural. I did not need a permit for that. I still have one more building that I need to do, and the fees that I'm going to have to pay are totally out of control. I can't even put the roof on because so I'm looking forward to this next meeting. Next, I want to enlighten you guys on a little issue over whoever's out patrolling and tagging houses and this kind of thing. I had a horrific experience a couple of weeks ago. A lot of you know my grandson, Kyle Rooney, who does a lot of work in this town. He went to work for Greg and Dr. Wilt and doing repairs on Porters and across the street. And another business owner in this town bought a little house next to Porters. And apparently they got shut down for no permits. And that property owner, new property owner, came over to Porter's and accused my grandson of turning them in. They had some words. He went back to his business. He called his thugs. 5 guys came down with knives and guns. A couple of them were arrested, but good God, let's get a grip on how we're doing this.
Thank you, Miss Olson. I just got a text message. Counselor, are you still on the line? What happened here? Something dropped here. Hold on, everyone. Delay of game here.
Is that in the front?
Maybe the other.
Is it on log or is it behind?
Porters?
Next to Porters. You said next to Porters. Is it
The
on
new
log?
Porters. Not
Oh,
the
the
old-
new
yeah.
Porters.
Welcome and thank you for choosing freeconferencecall.com. You're helping people around the world communicate for free. Please enter your access code box. If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please wait and you will be joined into the conference.
Oh, 6 feet apart.
Okay, Counselor, are you back on the line now?
Please announce yourself.
Counselor, are you all still on the line?
No.
Okay, thank you. We're not sure what happened, what disconnected there, but the tech world is, gremlins have gotten us. I'm gonna ask, we've heard the...
Madam Mayor,
Yes?
we lost when Anderson, I think, was coming to a conclusion.
All right, well then we'll start all over again. Deb K.
Yes.
Can
No,
you
we
hear?
had Deb K.
Okay, so you had Deb K. So did you hear Irene Morris?
Yes.
You heard Irene Morris?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have Deb Olson. That's who was up.
Yes.
Did they?
Right.
So did you hear all of Deb's issues or no?
She was, I'm sure she was coming to the end of her, thing, because it was almost 3 minutes.
Well, yeah, was it,
Yeah.
she was to the point about the particular violent altercation that happened at the...
No, we didn't hear that part.
Okay, you can start at where you had this situation between the businesses.
Okay, so then, my grandson, because a knife was pulled on him and a gun, he positioned himself so that he was in the camera so that he could at least be acknowledged that this was happening, and he called the police. A couple of them were arrested, and the next day they were out at that property working again, and they jumped up on the fence and started intimidating him. They wanted him to fight. They wanted to do bodily harm to him. Then they said, "You got an awfully nice little girlfriend that works here. You ought to be careful." They have now moved out of this town because, I'm going to start crying. My grandson wanted to stand up for himself, and he did not want to hurt somebody out of trying to stay alive, or his girlfriend. So I think that we should not be shutting people down and all this shit until we have our shit together, because I don't know who turned them in. I don't know if anybody turned them in and shut them down. But I know there was a lot of wrongs there, but that escalated way, way too far. Now I'm afraid. Everybody knows who my grandson is. And these guys are out, and they have vengeance because Kyle called the cops. So, I think you guys need to be aware of this.
Ms. Olson, thank you for bringing this to our attention. Can I ask one question though?
Yes, ma'am.
Were the proper authorities contacted regarding this altercation, or has this been handled by street justice?
No, they were arrested.
Okay.
I did get a thing in the mail. I sent it on to Kyle. The state is prosecuting.
Okay.
At least one.
I just wanted to make sure that it was actually reported to the authorities
Yeah.
and not left lingering.
Yeah, but you guys needed to know this.
Thank you, we appreciate the update. Anyone else from the public wishing to address the council? Ms. Anderson, yes, you may have 3 minutes.
Sue Anderson, 78 Sunset. Thank you, Mayor. I'm kind of appalled at some of the things I'm hearing here tonight, and I'm very sympathetic toward a lot of you, and I'm secretly very happy that I'm not remodeling houses anymore. It's just, and I'm sure you're going to look into it and make amends, because the last thing we want is for renovations to stop. That would just destroy everything we've all been working on for the last 20 years, and we've come so far. We don't want to go backwards at all. But I really want to bring up something happy. And next weekend, on the 19th, 20th, and 21st, the Chamber of Commerce is hosting a small event. It's Mural Madness. It's a mural walk, self-guided. We're charging $3 just to recover the cost of printing the materials, the maps, and Leslie Martin, who a lot of you know, has worked very hard on gathering history on the various murals. There'll be 10 specific murals. And in addition, there's a list of many, many other attractions, and some of them are kind of hidden and we don't even know they're there. So it's worth coming out 11 to 4, 3 days in a row. Come and go as you please. Dine out if you have the money and the time to do it, and help our businesses. That's what this is an effort to do, which the Chamber's been trying very hard to come up with low-cost ideas to bring people into town. And one point to make a really positive thing, we just finished the great gift card giveaway, and some of you in this room actually won. And one council member and his wife won. And anyway, they won $100 gift cards. Every one of our businesses participated, which is wonderful. And a few of our businesses in Globe and Gold Canyon also participated. So with the help of Resolution Copper, we gave away $10,000 in gift cards, which is great. And about 50% of that went to local people, which is even better. But one business owner at the board meeting last night reported in this time period, she had a 300% increase in business. So it probably wasn't all the gift card giveaway, but we're gonna take credit for at least half of it. The rest is good weather and people wanting to get out and stuff, so we're on a roll. Let's all work together and make this the place that we're all striving to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson, and thank you for all the hard work the Chamber's been doing. At this time, I do appreciate everybody's patience and calm regarding this. I know Todd kind of gave everybody a bit of an update on the building code situation. This is not something that council likes. I know every single one of our council members has suggested ideas, and we're very frustrated with this. I would like to encourage you also to reach out to Pinal County and tell them what it means to you having businesses and being invested in our community, because this was not something we wanted. This was not something we were like, oh, hey, we're ready to take this on and bring this into our realm. We really need for the county. It worked much better with the county. It was much more helpful to us. We have been as proactive as we can working with Supervisor Kavanaugh, and he's put the pressure on staff to work with us. So I think, Pinal County hearing from you, because you also do pay a lot of taxes to Pinal County, so we should have access to some of their services. So just know the council is working on that. We are trying to come up with solutions. Unfortunately, sometimes these things the rules are the rules, and we have to figure out how to work with them. We try to be as idea friendly, and we try to get to yes as often as we can. So appreciate everybody's patience and your kindness as we go through this very difficult situation. With that being said, we have no executive session items tonight. And so I will go into summary of current events, and I will go to Council Member Estatico.
Madam Mayor, just to give an update at the school, we were following the governor's executive order of having students on campus. We're going to expand that on March 22nd. We're also, our governing board is going to vote for a 4-day school week, or not a 4-day school week, on March 24th. We are playing spring sports, so those are the things that are happening at the school. As far as the call to the public, can Todd please give us an update on the issue that the woman, Deb Nelson, gave about the incident at her place? We have no idea about that, and like to know what's going on with that. So that's all I have.
Councilmember Estatico, is that update, is it acceptable via email? Because he'll have to talk to the chief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, good.
There's probably also some confidential matters in there that has to be checked before.
I understand that.
Councilmember Lopez?
I don't have anything to say. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Aguilar?
Just want to make sure everybody stays safe and we continue to practice what we've been doing to keep our numbers down, and this, before you know it, we'll be doing a lot better. I think we're doing a lot better by following the rules. So, that's it.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Armitage?
I have nothing, thank you.
Councilmember Navarrete?
Yes, I'm looking forward to watching a high school baseball game tomorrow. And I also believe that Rebuild is hosting a cemetery cleanup on Saturday at 8 a.m.
Yes, that is correct. Anything else from any council last call? And my comments, just thank you all again for coming and your patience with us. We are going to try to resolve this building issue. We have a lot of things going on in town. The cemetery cleanup on Saturday. I want to thank Rebuild Superior for that. I believe the Chamber is also doing a Sweep the Street event on Main Street. And we have a lot of promotion and publicity coming in right now about Superior, and that's because of a marketing co-op that we've been working on, so I think that's been helping. And to our friends at the Arboretum, they were just featured in the Smithsonian Associates magazine. or their webinars. And so they're one of 6 public gardens that people will be being able to visit virtually within the encouragement to come and see. So we've all been working very hard despite the pandemic. I'm looking forward to what this next year will bring us as we're moving away from the scourge that we've went through. Mr. Pryor, anything else? With that being said, no further calls to the public. Scheduling of our next meetings, the emergency services meeting will be March 18th, 2021. Community development meeting 3/25/2021. Planning and zoning, that's 4/1/2021. And I just want to confirm, Mr. Pryor, these issues we've talked about with the building codes and all of that, that is going to be on this agenda, right? 4/1/2021. So that's very important. I think hearing your feedback, please make sure you attend. And our next town council meeting will be 4/8/2021 at 7 p.m. At this time, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion, we adjourn.
Councilmember Lopez made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilmember Estatico. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries and the meeting adjourns at 7:52. Thank you everyone for your attendance and participation.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.